Meanwhile, the Pulgaon Central Armament Depot is the second biggest storage base in Asia. The army, which lost 2 officers and 14 civilian firefighters, also lost almost the entire stockpile of weapons stored there. Despite being of high strategic importance to India, Pulgaon is seen to lack the required safety standards. Let's bring you a report on what exactly went wrong.
The country's largest armament camp up in flames. The Pulgaon Ammo Dump, Asia's second largest storage base, is a sprawling 10,000-acre camp, slowly becoming India's largest military civil camp with almost all kinds of facilities.
It's the second largest ammunition depot in Asia. It's spread over 10,000 acres of land. Now, this is the main distribution point for all ammunition for northern India and for western India, especially for all the tank battles to be fought in the Gujarat, Rajasthan sector. All the ammunition goes from here.
Housing ammunition for the entire army, the storehouses or the sheds are built strategically to ensure that during incidents like this, a fire does not spread to every shed and thereby destroy arms worth millions.
This is the country's biggest ammunition depot in Pulgaon. Now, what you see here are silos. The distance between 2 ammunition depots is, sheds, is made in such a way. This is very scientific. This is very, very scientific to ensure that fire in one shed does not spread to the other. Most of these are concrete bunkers. Some of them are underground. Critical ammunition is always stored in underground bunkers, and there's a thick layer of concrete.
The fire has caused massive damage, primarily because arms at the depot were not stored underground.
Lot of our ammunition depots, not only Pulgaon, do not yet have these security, these strength underground bunkers for storage of ammunition. And the reason for that is quite simple: money, shortage of money.
It's the second time this is happening in the Pulgaon armament base. The second time a shed storing key arms and ammunition went up in smoke. Maybe it's time now to ensure that the depot is developed not just to contain fires, but to eliminate them altogether. Bureau Report, India Today.
An unfortunate story to start the day with. Let's then turn to the story that we are breaking at the moment, and that's the big political story over Robert Vadra, where fresh information is now coming into India today. We've accessed an intelligence report which suggests that Robert Vadra had indeed been in touch with arms dealer Sanjay Bhandari. Call details of the defense lobbyists show that he was in touch with Sonia Gandhi's son-in-law when UPA 2 was in power. This discreet IB report was prepared after Bhandari's name started appearing in a deal to purchase basic jet trainers for the Indian Air Force. The confidential report that has been accessed by India Today reveals that Sanjay Bhandari made multiple calls from his mobile number to Robert Vadra. The calls were made to a number registered in the name of Robert Vadra's company, Blue Breeze Trading Private Limited. According to the IB report, which was made in 2011, this number was being used by Robert Vadra. Blue Breeze Trading Private Limited is the same company whose name cropped up in connection with the alleged Vadra land scam in Gurgaon. That's the story that's breaking at the moment here on India Today TV. I want to go straight across to Gaurav Sawant, who's joining us. Gaurav, give us a sense of this IB report, 2011, UPA government in power. Are we saying that Mr. Bhandari was in extensive conversation with Robert Vadra outside this particular land deal in London as well? This was a relationship which these calls suggest went beyond just this property purchase.
In this case, Rajdeep, this is a report that pertains to 2011, and this report is specifically talking about relations that Sanjay Bhandari, and curiously his name is now coming forward in more than one defense deal. People he was in touch with. Just being in touch with somebody is not complicity in any crime, but the information that we have at this stage seems to indicate that he was in touch not just with Robert Vadra, but also with Sri Prakash Jaiswal and some other politicians. Now, the Intelligence Bureau, according to our sources, they went through Sanjay Bhandari's call details for a period of 6 months, and there they found that he was in regular touch, in 2010 and 2011, 6 month scrutiny on the number 98107000-4, which is registered in the name of Blue Bridge Trading Private Limited, which according to government sources was at that point of time being used by Robert Vadra. What they're also talking about is that he was in touch with then Coal Minister Sri Prakash Jaiswal on his official number at Teen Murthy Road residence, and SPY Reddy, a Congress Party MP, Rajdeep.
So what you're suggesting, Gaurav, is Mr. Bhandari, who was at that time looking to be a middleman or a defense dealer in the context of this jet trainer deal, was in touch with various senior people in the UPA. I'm also told that he also had links with people who were in the NDA. So he seems to have had links across the political spectrum.
There is one report that indicates that, even post 2014, with the change in government, he's been in touch with powerful people within the establishment. So here is a man who's under scrutiny. Now, we still do not know whether official investigations will begin, whether it will give a nod for a case to be registered under Official Secret Act, because there are some documents, Rajdeep, which do fall into the category of secret documents, classified secret, especially very complex contract negotiation committee documents. He is alleged to have access those documents, and that is a clear violation of the Official Secret Act. It remains to be seen, how the MOD responds. We are expecting a response in the next 24 to 48 hours on this also, and that this would indicate that this man had access to very, very powerful people and had access with documents which were of crucial importance to arms companies.
Okay. There you have Gaurav Sawant giving us the latest that's coming, an IB report of 2011 suggesting that Sanjay Bhandari and Robert Vadra were in regular phone conversation. All this, of course, has led to a huge political slugfest breaking out over Robert Vadra. The BJP accuses Robert Vadra of purchasing a Benami mansion in London through his alleged links with an arms dealer Sanjay Bhandari. But Congress President Sonia Gandhi has come out in strong defense of her son-in-law, called it a big political conspiracy, even as the Congress claims that there are BJP leaders with whom Bhandari has been in regular touch as well.
ये भी एक षड्यंत्र है. कांग्रेस मुक्त भारत का मतलब क्या है?
Sonia Gandhi came out in defense of son-in-law Robert Vadra like never before. She challenged the BJP to find any proof whatsoever against Vadra.
ये भी एक षड्यंत्र है. कांग्रेस मुक्त भारत का मतलब क्या है? रोज कुछ न कुछ ये लोग बहाना बनाते हैं, गलत इल्जाम लगाते हैं. अगर कुछ ऐसी बात है तो बिना भेदभाव जांच करो. दूध का दूध, पानी का पानी, सबके सामने आएगा.
12 Ellerton House in the upscale neighborhood of Bryanston Square in London landed Robert Vadra in yet another controversy. Vadra has been accused of purchasing a Benami mansion with the help of arms dealer Sanjay Bhandari. The plush house was reportedly bought in 2009 for 19 crore rupees, renovated and sold a year later. The purchase may have been done in London, but the heat was felt in the political corridors of Delhi.
I think this is already under investigation by the ED. It's only a matter of time before a case is registered for summoning of Mr. Vadra, but they should do it quick enough before he takes British citizenship.
Congress leaders turned the table and wrote to central agencies blaming BJP Siddharth Nath Singh of having links with armed dealer Sanjay Bhandari and not Vadra.
There is an investigation, and this all has come through an investigation in the media, and there is an email from Robert Vadra's office and Robert Vadra, in fact, inquiring about certain chandeliers and certain fittings in his London house. Yeah. And somebody in London is asking for payment to be made. So there is already established link that he has something to do with the London house. Now the ownership needs to be proven, which the investigation will do it, and investigation is on.
The vitriolic exchange of accusations between the BJP and Congress snowballed into a big political war.
Supporting him, Sonia Gandhi has demanded the proof for his involvement. But the question is, will Vadra himself break the silence? With camera person Siddharth Gupta, Athar Khan in Delhi for India Today.
I want to raise the question that goes beyond this political slugfest. There are a few critical questions that have to be raised in the manner in which this incident is now playing out, that both the Congress and the BJP need to answer. Randeep Singh Surjewala, the chief spokesperson of the Congress, is with us. Kirit Somaiya is the member of parliament of the BJP who has been raising this. GVL Narasimha Rao is the national spokesperson BJP, and Javed Ansari is our executive editor who has been tracking this story for us politically. I want to come to you, Randeep Singh Surjewala. Sonia Gandhi says, "Doodh ka doodh and pani ka pani." Let's look at it. That sounds like very good political aggression. But the fact is, "Doodh ka doodh and pani ka pani" is the email trail, which clearly indicates that Robert Vadra was in regular touch with Mr. Bhandari about issues that included progress of work of renovation and repair work. Even where Mr. Bhandari's colleague is asking for reimbursement of expenses, and Robert Vadra says, "I will look into the issue." So clearly, how do you then explain this email trail when you say "doodh ka doodh and pani ka pani"?
The answer is rather simple, Rajdeep. Mr. Vadra's lawyer, and I've also seen the reply that Mr. Vadra's lawyers have given, have said three clear things on behalf of Mr. Vadra. Number one, Mr. Robert Vadra does not own directly or indirectly, nor ever owned the property in question. Number two, he says there have been no business, and I repeat, business or financial links that Mr. Vadra has had with Mr. Sanjay Bhandari or any of his associates. And third thing that Mr. Vadra has unequivocally said, that he has scrupulously avoided any contact or any connection with any defense transactions.
No, that's his claim,
now,
sir.
Let us
How
come
does he
to
explain the emails
that you mentioned?
How do you explain the emails?
I'm coming to that. Please have the patience to hear.
Yes.
Now let's come to the emails. Mr. Vadra's lawyer, and I've read the notice, and so have you, I'm sure, he has categorically said that the said emails, and I'm sure if India Today has them, if Gaurav has them, he would have provided them, that they have no knowledge of any such emails. Please place them in public domain, ask a question from him. Instead of news plants by Finance Minister Shri Arun Jaitley in a selective fashion to his friends and cronies, the best thing would have been issue an IT notice, issue an ED notice, put those emails to Mr. Vadra and ask him a question. No, and he will say whether they are his emails or not his emails.
You are making a very serious question. You are making a very serious charge. You are making a very serious charge that I want Kirit Somaiya to respond to right away, because you have said on this program that essentially there is in some way, according to Randeep Singh Surjewala, that Kirit Somaiya, that Arun Jaitley, finance minister, has leaked information about Robert Vadra's dealings with Mr. Bhandari. Instead of sending an income tax notice, instead of getting an ED investigation, without actually putting those emails out in the public domain. This is a campaign, in a sense, therefore, of character assassination, it appears, is what Randeep is saying. How do you respond? Is these selective leaks? Is it better to send an income tax notice and then let's see doodh ka doodh and pani ka pani?
I think Surjewala is a very good spokesperson. What is the investigation is going on? Where is Sanjay Bhandari? The various authorities are trying to track down, get Sanjay Bhandari, who is the defense arms dealer, involved in non-transparent activities since Since 2013, the inquiry investigation is going on. So Surjewala doesn't know.
No. But then if it is going on since
Not only
2013, should an income tax notice have not been sent by now? If the belief is that a Benami transaction has been made, either the ED or the income tax authority should have at least sent a notice to Robert Vadra. Where is that notice? If this has been going on for 3 years investigation, why is the notice not being sent?
Now the Sanjay Bhandari, all the agencies are trying to get him. It is the Sanjay Bhandari, the arm dealing, what type of arm dealing, when he will come to the authorities, whether it is a helicopter commission or what type of kickback, nobody knows. But that's what the authority wants to know. They are not getting Sanjay Bhandari. The information which has come out is from Sanjay Bhandari's source, office, email, computer, whatever it is.
Sir,
this side, everybody has come out.
No, my question...
The response received...
Sir, I take your point. My question is, by now an income tax notice, do you agree GVL Narasimha Rao should have been sent? Because Randeep Singh Surjewala has made a very serious charge, GVL, that Arun Jaitley has put out information without providing the backup details. It's a very serious allegation.
I think Congress is left with no more excuses. So this is the most silly excuse I have heard of. I think the question is, the real question today, the central question is, whether Robert Vadra was in a commercial relationship with Sanjay Bhandari or not. And the evidence that is available with the media, which is procured from investigative agencies, is whether such a commercial arrangement exists between them. So now the question is, without answering the real question, they are trying to skirt the real questions that are being asked. Sonia ji talks about the political conspiracy. All the spokespersons of the Congress talk about vendetta. But where are the questions being answered? You see, there seems to be a similar operation that was carried out in Haryana. You buy something at a low price, do some transaction, use some, let's say, land use in Haryana and sell it at a hefty premium a few months later. So even the London transaction seems to be, to me, something like that. You buy it at a price, do some renovation, and then sell it at a huge premium. This is a preliminary report, as the documents in the media point out. I don't have a copy of this document. I think if Mr. Randeep Surjewala has managed to get one, I think possibly he has his sources. I am going by the media reports on this.
You know, my point,
I think the Congress should answer the real question. You know, what kind of dubious deals is Robert Vadra involved in?
You know, this is being called, and it was called by the Wall Street Journal, Randeep Singh Surjewala, as the Robert Vadra financial model. How was someone who before the NDA came to power had a very small business, suddenly the business expands and becomes into several hundred crores? And according to GVL Narasimha Rao, the question, and he's right, which has to be explained, is there a commercial relationship of any kind between Robert Vadra and Sanjay Bhandari? He is denying it outright, yes. But how does he explain the emails then? Are the emails false? Are the emails fictitious? Forget about Arun Jaitley and whether the information is planted or leaked. Are the emails between Robert Vadra and the associates of Sanjay Bhandari false, or are they genuine, sir?
Rajdeep, now that you have two spokespersons of BJP, I hope you will give me time to answer both of them.
Yes.
Well, Mr. Kirit Somaya must remember that at 3:10, a senior journalist breaks the story. At 3:28, he writes a letter to ED. What kind of a concerted operation you are doing through a media trial instead of investigating the man through a proper legal process? Three things are yet to be established, and let me point that out for you because you are seasoned enough. Number one, Mr. Sanjay Bhandari is not here on this show to defend himself. I don't defend him. He will defend himself and say whatever he has to say before the authorities. You have to still establish that Mr. Sanjay Bhandari is a person who has, according to your correspondent, Mr. Saman, has cross-party associations. No one becomes guilty by association. Just because Mr. Sanjay Bhandari may have a link with a former BJP president, or a couple of union ministers in the current cabinet, or an association or a phone call to XYZ in the past, does not make everybody a partner in his business. Just like if I say that the entire money pumped into the India Today network comes from a foreign country, would be a preposterous allegation. Unless and until I am able to prove this through a money trail.
Yes.
Number two, Mr. Vadra has clearly denied that there is no financial or business relationship with Mr. Sanjay Bhandari. Now it is for the government to look at the money trail. UK is not a tax haven. There is a tax treaty that Congress party had agreed, and there is everything that has to be done through check.
So are you denying?
Even the land record is available on payment of 10 pounds.
Sir, is the Congress party saying that the mails are false? Are you saying that the mails are fictitious? Are you willing to say that? Or are you accepting that the mails are genuine? Are you accepting that the mails are genuine?
I'm going to... Okay. All that I was pointing out, in order to prove ownership, you have to prove money trail.
Yes.
And the land title is available for a 10 pound cost. Why can't Mr. Arun Jaitley, with everything at his command, and Mr. Narendra Modi, locate the money trail instead of doing this trial on your television channel and many other television channels? By all means, prosecute the man.
Somaya?
You have been hounding him for last 6 years.
Mr. Kirit
For
Somaya, the money
24
trail.
months you are in power. There is no case that you found against Mr. Vadra. Where is the money trail? Where are the ownership documents? In 24 months, why can't you find it? And where are the emails?
Kirit Somaya, where is the money trail is the question which is being asked. Since you are the one who is spearheading in a way this investigation from a BJP perspective, where is the money trail? 2013 investigation, where is the money trail, Mr. Somaya?
The first thing, let me tell Surjewala that the Rajasthan government has already scrapped the land transaction of Vadra. Haryana government is already a judicial investigation is going on. And regarding this issue, the information has been obtained through the arm dealer office. So we are trying, the investigative agency first trying to nail down that particular person.
Let me also tell Shri Kirit Somaya that in Haryana
one by one, sir. One by one, sir.
A commission of inquiry that has been constituted.
Rajivji, one by one.
That Bhandari has killed, and who is Bhandari? That all Congress people know very well. Now the same argument they were giving when the helicopters came has come out. So it is
my limited point to you, and therefore this is a question with GVL Narasimha Rao.
When Mr. Kirit Somaya leveled allegation against an aide of Mr. Rahul Gandhi, he issued him a notice, he leveled the same preposterous set of allegations. After Mr. Kirit Somaya received a defamation notice, he stopped mewing. He's become suddenly very quiet. We respect Shri Kirit Somaya.
Right.
But why is he not now ready to level the same allegations against the aide of Mr. Rahul Gandhi that he was leveling by saying connection with MRMGF and other things? I challenge you, why don't you level the same allegations today? Because you are only in the habit of shoot and scoot, you level allegations, throw enough mud so that I say and then run away.
Yes, Kirit, quickly, and then I'll come to you, GVL. Yes, Kirit. Yes.
Rajiv, I am repeating the same thing. Let Surjewala categorically clear what has happened in the court. See, like the sending and threatening by sending 3 crore notice by that Rahul Gandhi's colleague, or Robert Vadra may send 25 crore notice. High Court has not given any relief, no interim order. And I am repeating, why Haske and Gautam Khaitan are director in Kanishka Singh family-owned company. Kanishka Singh grandfather, Kanishka Singh father, Kanishka Singh mama related with the MGF.
Stop
and in
leveling
MGF
preposterous allegations.
One minute,
has
guys.
nothing to do with the company in question.
Sir,
there is an ongoing litigation between the family. There is complete, not even speaking terms with the family. There is ongoing litigation pending in court with the family,
Sir,
and Mr. Kanik Singh has nothing to do with MRMGF. You know it very well. That's why you are facing prosecution, Somaya Saab, because you are nowadays at the instance of somebody in the habit of telling lies over and over again.
You know, my worry is in this, we will say you are a liar, and let's come to the facts. And I want to stick to the facts for a moment. GVL Narasimha Rao, the worry is a lot of these so-called investigations are now done through the media. Don't you think that it would strengthen the case, whether in Haryana, whether in Rajasthan, whether in this particular case, that if you believe that this Robert Vadra model exists, and there are question marks, serious question marks as to how his wealth increased when the UPA was in power, isn't it better to do this through the official agencies, Income Tax Enforcement Directorate, rather than shoot and scoot? Level certain charges without having proven the money trail, and then create the impression that Robert Vadra has made money.
No, Rajdeep,
yes.
I think we are on a television show. We are discussing in the media. I think Congress spokesperson cannot become the judge in this case and ask, you prove money trail in this. If it were proven today, Robert Vadra would be in jail. I think the question is, there is a preliminary report which makes certain accusations, and these charges are being discussed in the media. I think it's their duty to the people of this country to explain what kind of contacts he had with an arms dealer. Why was he in touch with him? Why was he negotiating, discussing payments regarding a house?
Should Siddharth
Singh, without answering these questions,
Mr. Narasimha Rao, I take your point.
I think they clearly feel.
Mr. Narasimha Rao, while Robert Vadra has to answer these emails which are nobody has said are false, should your leader Siddharth Singh, your senior leader who has made 450 calls within a short period of time to Mr. Bhandari, also answer that? He says they were friends. I'm not saying there is anything wrong in having friendship with Mr. Bhandari, but the problem is in every instance mud is being thrown without any evidence.
Rajdeep, just 1 second, let me answer that.
Yes.
Siddharth, Rajdeep, unlike Robert Vadra, unlike the Congress party, which is not answering the questions posed, Siddharth Singh has answered these questions in the media. He said he had made the number of calls that are being referred to him is completely a dubious number. He said he did make calls to him or receive calls from him. It was a casual acquaintance. He is before the media and explained his position. Okay. Why is Robert Vadra hiding away? And why is Mrs. Gandhi not answering the right questions? How did his wealth multiply umpteen times when the Congress was in power? The Congress is synonymous with corruption that gets reinforced every week in this country, because every week we have new revelations
just because
of
you level
bribery and scandals that broke out during the Congress era.
And the Congress has no answer. State Petroleum Corporation scam involving the Prime Minister.
No, 1 minute.
Just because you don't want to answer.
We are not going to today, Mr. Surjewala. Mr. Surjewala, let us focus on Robert Vadra today. Let's not bring in GPSC. No, just a minute.
Gadkari was on a luxury yacht.
You have to
please keep the mic off for a moment. Mike's off, because I want to come to you, Javed Ansari. Let the politicians are going to level these charges and counter charges. Let's focus on Robert Vadra. The fact is that in the 10 years when the UPA was in power, the companies with which he had a majority stake, their shareholding his wealth has increased multifold. Therefore, naturally, there are going to be questions. And it seemed that most of his transactions were in Congress-ruled states, in Haryana, in Rajasthan at the time, in Uttarakhand, some say, and also now this transaction that comes in 2009 to 2011. Does Robert Vadra have some serious answering to do? Is he being perceived by the Congress now and the Gandhi family as an Achilles heel?
Look, I don't think the Congress party perceives him as an Achilles heel, but what the Congress party certainly believes is that Robert Vadra is being used as a stick to beat the Congress party, that this is a part of a larger campaign on behalf of this government, on the part of this government.
But does Robert Vadra have to explain? Does Robert Vadra have to explain the rise in his wealth?
Yes, certainly. Robert Vadra must come forward and explain, as must Siddharth Singh and all those who are said to have linkages with Mr. Bhandari, whether it happens to be an ex-president of the BJP or certain cabinet ministers, which Mr. Surjewala was talking about.
No, but the question is, Mr. Surjewala, in this entire discussion, what you have not answered for me is A, whether these emails are fake or genuine, and B, how do you explain the enormous rise in wealth of Robert Vadra when the UPA was in power? These are two questions that are going to haunt you. And therefore, to that extent, you will you accept that Robert Vadra has some explaining to do? Forget about doodh ka doodh and pani ka mani, those are good words. But does Robert Vadra have some explaining to do, sir?
I'm very happy that you asked the questions, and I categorically replied based on what Mr. Robert Vadra's counsel had stated to all news channels. They said, where are the emails? Please put these emails to me. We have not seen any such emails. Place the emails in questions, and we will be very happy to answer those.
Are you saying
and I put it to you, Rajdeep. As a neutral arbitrator, I only put one simple question to you.
Yes.
I have not looked at the emails. Mr. Robert Vadra's counsel has not had a look at the emails. You have no access to emails. Only Mr. Jaitley knows what those emails are. Why does he not place those emails to Mr. Robert Vadra through an appropriate IT or ED agency? And if he wants to add his journalist friends to the investigation part, we have no problem. Please make a list of the journalists that he wants to be part of the investigative team, who can also be there, and those questions can be put to Mr. Vadra. Can we have a trial by media in complete absence of any document, without putting the document to the person in question, without issuing a notice to the person, just by hounding him, and BJP spokesperson saying, no, we don't have copy to access to the probe report, but Mr. Kirit Somaya will write within 18 minutes of release of the story a letter to ED. What kind of a conspiratorial plant are these? Why don't they come forward and investigate the case, complete the investigation, look at the title, look at the money trail, hold him guilty if he is, but do not prosecute him on news channels.
Can I
just throw muck and mud and believe that some of it will continue to stick.
Can I therefore ask you, GBL Narasimha Rao, it's now 18 months since your government was in power in Haryana. It's now almost 3 years since your government is in power in Rajasthan. It's 2 years since your government is in power in Delhi. I still haven't seen a charge sheet against Robert Vadra. Does it take that long, sir? If you believe he's a crook, if you believe that you had hard evidence which you said during election campaigns that you had in these states, why not have a charge sheet by now in place? Surely 3 years in Rajasthan, 2 years in Haryana, 2 years in Delhi is enough time, sir.
No, Rajdeep, the process has been ongoing. I think there has been a lot of momentum on this, but certainly we are not going to make this the only priority of this government. We certainly do not want to give any opportunity to the Congress party to cry vendetta. Let the process, let the due process take its own course. Let it take its time. Let it happen in normal course.
Hounding the Congress party is the only favorite pastime of this Prime Minister and the government. That is the problem.
No,
I think the media. Can I have my say, please?
Yes, you can.
Can I have my say?
Absolutely.
Can I complete my statement, please?
Yes.
I think their grouse seems to be with the media. I think, as they say, Caesar's wife should be above suspicion, and certainly in this country, Priyanka's husband has come about to be all suspicion. I think that's where the Congress's Achilles heel lies. I think they have to come out clean. They have to answer the relevant questions. I think emails have not been denied by them. That's a giveaway. Okay. I think the people of the country are very smart. They can make out their own, they can find their own answers in the statements that are emanating from the Congress party.
I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it there because I'm afraid that at the moment when you have a political sparring like this, I wonder whether we will ever reach the truth. And that's all that we want. What really is the relationship between Mr. Bhandari and Mr. Vadra? Is there a money trail? Why is there no income tax notice? These are questions that we will continue to ask. I appreciate all my panelists joining.